It's funny when you think about what's happening right now in the job market. And I was watching a video. There's a guy by the name of, I think Brendan Dell is his name. He's a great guy, great channel. And his channel was talking about basically the layoffs that are happening right now. And he also talks about, in one of his most recent videos, in fact, I was watching it just this morning, was talking about how everybody who is using AI, or a lot of people who are using AI essentially, or 85%, only 14% were basically using AI effectively. And the other portion of people were using it to the point where it had become a crutch, where they had no original ideas or anything. And so I find this interesting only because, as we think about, moving forward in, our new society, it's like, what are people going to do, for work and stuff if they are only using it as a crutch, and they're not really thinking of their own original ideas? How are they going to come up with things themselves? And it does beg the question, if we're in this weird situation where, let's say I go to ChatGPT for every single thing, and I go in here and I say, write me this essay, and then I say, turn it into a polished PDF for me, and then I say, do this for me as well, and I say, take this and analyze it and tell me the most important insights from it, and then take this and transcribe it, and then take this and turn it into a video, right? You get the idea. I mean, you could just prompt an AI and tell it to do something a million times, the same thing. And then they called these people, in I guess the experiment that he was talking about, these cyborgs who use artificial intelligence as a crutch. They are not able to think independently without it, not able to communicate any kind of idea without artificial intelligence, and that these individuals are going to get decimated as we progress. Because one thing we're also seeing, and I find this interesting, have you guys noticed AI getting more expensive? This house has got to be from like the 1800s back right here. But have you guys noticed AI getting more expensive? It seems like it's getting a lot more expensive. And it's funny because now we're seeing Andy Jassy and all these guys crack down on the artificial intelligence usage. And before, we had Jensen Huang saying, hey, it's okay. Just go ahead and use as much AI as you want, bro. Everything's fine. Just go ahead and use as much as you want. And so the token usage, now they're getting into this idea of how much token usage should we have? How much token usage can you have and get away with it? And that also begs the question, are we just using AI for the sake of using AI? And why is that? And so I think people can ask these reasonable questions. And, it's not unreasonable to ask these questions simply due to the fact that a lot of people out this morning. It is rush hour. But I used to rush to work every single morning to start my shift. I remember those days. But as we think about the artificial intelligence narrative and the artificial intelligence push by these companies, these large companies like Microsoft, Amazon, everybody's telling us, experiment with AI. We need you guys to use AI, and you must use our tools now, by the way. Oh, and if you get caught using somebody else's tools, that's against policy, and there could be disciplinary measures. So not just including layoffs, but everything else as well. So that's another thing. And then, so it's one of those weird situations where we've been basically gaslit. First we're told to use AI to get used to it, and then we're told after that, oh, never mind, we don't want to use as much of it because it's too expensive. And now they're seeing the cost of it, and they forget how expensive it is. And I think that's something else that we're seeing, is that people forget just how expensive the electricity costs. And that's why we're seeing all these protests with these data centers simply due to the fact that, you know, it's just out of control. And we're seeing tons of protests from citizens across the U.S., which is a good thing. We want to see this. You know, I am honestly kind of sick of it all. But we have to cover it because it is something that's happening in the economy, and people are seeing their electricity bills go up. I know, you know, I've been paying more for utilities, for my kids and stuff in their house and everything else. And it's like the electric bills, everything's gone up. Everything's gone up. So there's no doubt. And you can blame it on a variety of factors. The data centers definitely plugging into the grid have something to do with it. And then you get into eminent domain and taking homes. So now you get into the government coming in and paying you fair market value, or what they perceive to be fair market value for your home. But what is fair market value? You know, and then you get these large corporations coming in with their attorneys saying, we'll offer you $30 million for your 100 acres of land. Well, it's kind of hard to turn that down. I mean, I wouldn't blame people if they took that offer, to be honest. But at what cost? It's the cost of a massive data center coming in and draining your groundwater and skyrocketing your electricity bills. So welcome to the new age. Welcome to 2026, where data centers, artificial intelligence, and everything else is now part of your daily life, whether you like it or not. So if they want to take your home, they'll take your home and they'll build a data center. You know, it's a must. We must cover the earth in data centers. It's a God-given mission, okay? But this is where we're at. And you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about all this. It is quite crazy to think about where this is headed and where we have seen this head so far just in the last 4 years since the ChatGPT moment. You know, simply because of that, here we are. And I do wonder what the future holds, obviously, in the next 10 years, 20 years. I think it's going to be a longer term trend that we see. And yes, you know, the economy is changing, so there's a lot of opportunity. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not here just dooming and glooming everybody. One thing we're seeing is that, for example, and I'll make a separate video on this, I was able to find a contract opportunity that, you know, it pays decent. You know, it pays pretty good, and it's remote. And it's in addition to my full-time job. So I can make my full-time salary with benefits, healthcare, 401k, you know, and that's a pretty flexible, you know, role as well at the moment. So, you know, Lord willing, it stays that way. But, you know, there's travel and stuff, but still, it's like, it's one of those things where right now the job market is in such a weird spot. So I definitely want to count my blessings, but there's definitely opportunities out here as well. And this is where, you know, you think about certain skills and certain things you might have that could be valuable in the marketplace. Right now, there's this K-shaped economy happening, as I've mentioned. And as we've talked about on the channel, where individuals who have certain skills are making more money than others. And you can find jobs. There are jobs out here, remote jobs at that pay anywhere from 50 to 75 bucks an hour or more for some roles. And you can easily, you know, find these jobs. And, you know, if you have the right skill set, that is. When I say find them, like you can find them online, you can land them if you have the right skill set. That's what I mean. So you can easily apply for them. Anybody can really find them and apply for them. But the question is, you know, can you actually land the job? And a lot of these roles will be contract. So keep that in mind. But nonetheless, just because something's contract doesn't mean it doesn't, you know, it won't pay well. A lot of times these roles can pay very well and you can make a lot of money. And so I encourage you, if you're looking for work out there, no matter what your skill set is, especially if you can find, you know, think about this. Let's just say there's a role out there that I was able to pick up, and 10 hours a week, 10 hours a week at $70 an hour is what? Do the math. You know, $700 a week. And they want you to work 10 hours a week. They even threaten to kick you off the project if you don't work 10 hours a week. So there's consistent work and you must show up, right? So when the project ramps up, it's not always, but you do get that consistent work. You know, $700 a week is it's nothing to shake a stick at. And that's just an example. And yes, like I said, project volumes can fluctuate, but you know, give or take, what's the true benefit of doing this versus working a full-time job? I think there's benefit in both. You know, you don't want to quit your full-time job with benefits, I don't think, in this economy, if you have a good, stable position, unless you think you can find something better, which, you know, I kind of rolled the dice and that was how I went about things. But it is a risky move, you know. Yes, you can make more by switching jobs. Absolutely. You can absolutely make more by switching jobs. But at the same time, you know, you can find those higher paying positions, you can make more income, and that can help you to save a lot more money, because that's how you get your leverage. And that's what I think his name is, Brendan Dell, if I'm not mistaken, from, it's called the Leverage Class. I'll try to leave his YouTube down below. And his most recent video talking about how people who are depending on AI are basically using it as a crutch. And it's becoming, you know, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about all this. But with that being said, I think we're in this weird economy where right now, I am not so sure if a lot of people, like the bottom 50% obviously, are getting wiped out as we speak. And when I say that, you know, I speak broadly, but I'm talking about by inflation, by taxation, whatever it is. They can talk about getting rid of taxes for the bottom 50% of Americans, but until it actually happens, I mean, you know, that's bureaucracy in action. So welcome to 2026, welcome to America. God bless you all, but we'll see you all in the next one. Take care.